I pre-ordered New World, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm hyped for this game. I saw several streams of people streaming that game, and especially the PvP aspect looks really cool of New World. However, Josh Strife Hayes made this video called New World are slightly above average MMO. Will this one change my mind about New World and the way I feel? Who knows, we're gonna find out soon. And yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And yeah, let's have a look at this video.
Literally went to space because he earns over $300 million a day and doesn't know what else to do with it. Meanwhile, Amazon Games can't program a running animation and are clearly using a server they found dumped in a canal.
Yeah, there were many
somewhere.
bugs I've heard.
World. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes. Today, we're going to be playing Amazon Games Studios' new MMORPG, New World. Now, in order to set our expectations correctly, let's remember the most successful game Amazon Games Studios has released so far, Airport Mania HD. In fact, it was so successful, it spawned a sequel. Then they started to work on the new Lord of the Rings MMO, right up until they decided to not keep making that because they fell out with Tencent, and both companies threw their toys out the pram and sat there seeing who could ignore the other the hardest.
One thing interests me now, so they canceled Lord of the Rings, right? But what made them actually like get, wait, was it an MMO too? I think that was an MMO too, right? But yeah, I think it's like really brave of like a new studio to try such a big and hyped game like that. Because all they did so far was like a freaking mobile game, and now they make like a freaking MMO.
So straight off the bat, you know we are dealing with professionals. New World has been in development for a few years now, and for some strange reason, Amazon didn't send me a beta key. Maybe the guy who was sending out beta keys got called away just before he reached my name and had to tuck Jeffrey into his nice shiny space suit. So I tweeted about this absolute miscarriage of justice, and lo and behold, the absolutely majestic Yorkshire tea sipping knight of the realm himself, the spiffing Brit, sent me a beta code like the absolute gentleman he is. So, New World. Basically, a few years ago, Amazon shouted, "Hey, who wants a full loot hardcore PvP territory control MMO?" And about 5 people put their hands up. But then 3 of them went to play Mortal Online 2, and the other 2 realised, actually, they don't want that. So Amazon said, "Hey, who wants a PvP-focused crafting-heavy MMO with area control?" And the entire player base of Life is Feudal, about 20 people, looked up and slowly started to show an interest. So then they released the alpha, and it turns out when you tell players who live to grief others to make their own fun, their version of fun actually isn't. So Amazon Games finally said, okay, how about we add some PvE challenges and an actual plot and make it somewhat solo-friendly and make PvP voluntary opt-in to prevent further griefing, and now we're getting somewhere. If you pre-order the game for $40, you'll get access to the beta. That's correct, you are paying.
If I'm not mistaken, like during the process of the game being developed, they changed a few times the direction, I've heard in the news, right? Like at first they wanted like more PvP focus, like you said. Then they wanted like the crafting to become like even a bigger thing. And they changed it around a few times. But now, like from what I've seen, like I can't complain about this game from what I saw from like streams of people streaming it and from footages of the game. I think it's looking now fine. Of course, like this footage shown here with the walking animation that is so bugged. That was like early, I think it was like early beta, was it like alpha, I'm not sure. But yeah, it used to be quite buggy and some quests were bugged, I've heard too.
Paying to test their game. You would have assumed they could have taken some of the army of Amazon employees to test it, but no, clearly the QA budget went on Jeff's penis rocket.
Oh shit,
rainy streets
that's not
with
good.
Dude in cool metal mask, reminiscent of 16th century Spanish conquistadors.
Yeah.
Such as Pedro de Valvida, Juan Ponce de Leon, or Cortez.
Oh, someone learned well history.
To a spooky old man with red eyes in a
Someone
bar.
studied
He gives
well
the
here.
metal mask dude a magical box, and then we set off for adventure. We are a member of this guy's crew, and now the character creation begins. It's actually a very nice transition from cinematic to creation, but unlike
Asmongold is here.
creation engines, there are no sliders. You've got
Not
several
really.
preset faces and feature shapes, some hairstyles.
Holy shit, you can have like girlish hair as a guy.
But what I'm thinking right now, and this thought will come up again often, is this doesn't feel like something made by a trillion.
Yeah, that's so meme-ish right there.
Character made and we log in. Now, I'm lucky to be playing at low load times because these queues on launch day were insane. Some people...
Yeah, that's so realistic right there. Freaking green hair and a purple beard. I'm pretty sure like during this time of period, like 16th century or something, like sure there were already such fashions, like such styles. Holy shit! Yo, I will have a lot of fun during character creation. Like I can't wait to start a Let's Play series. And by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. It would be very much appreciated. And once New World launches, I will do a Let's Play to that for sure.
People were waiting up to an hour, and as we'll see later, this game's servers are made of tissue paper and wishes. More cinematic, the whole ship is destroyed by a huge stone pillar rising out of the sea, and we wash up on the beach and the game begins.
Yeah, that's a confusing beginning, right?
Jump, but as we approach the captain, we get attacked, and combat controls are shown via a quick time event. I don't hate this. It gives us the basics and lets us see the effect of.
And combat's like Dark Souls a bit, right?
Right mouse blocks, left mouse attacks, hold left click for heavy attack, press shift to dodge. You've got a stamina bar that's used up when dodging or blocking. It's basically cheap Dark Souls.
There we go.
Have a chat with the captain. He wants his box back, but instead of waiting, decides to melt. Doesn't even give us his sweet mask.
Oh no.
Tab opens your inventory. This is laid out really nicely.
What made him melt?
Keys bound to your
Was he
main and
cursed?
secondary weapons. Quick item slots assigned to 3, 4, and 5. Armor and skilling equipment are all shown. We equip a shield as the tutorial forces us to. We eat some food and then get exploring. How to describe combat? Imagine you ordered Dark Souls from Wish. This is what would arrive. Once you've clicked an attack, there is no animation cancelling. You can't block or roll away from an attack animation once you've started. And the enemy has no real telegraphing of attacks. There's no audio or visual clue they're going to attack. They just start the attack, and if you block a split second,
so you need to have fast reflexes.
You need to know when to block.
That's
it's
challenging.
Not bad by
it's
any
good.
means. It's perfectly serviceable. Now, I personally love Dark Souls combat, and
yeah,
I
me
appreciate
too.
the slower,
Love
more tactical nature of choosing your move and living with the consequences of choosing the wrong one. But if you're after a more reaction-based action combat system, this
then Elder
feels
Scrolls Online is for you.
Clunky and unresponsive. Kill this elite dude and get a skill point. Using a weapon increases your skills in it, and all weapon skills level separately, so you.
Yeah, but that's also cool, like the whole weapon system, because you don't have like a class really. You basically like pick a weapon, you just level it. I think that's cool because you have like more freedom on a single character. I think you can like easily like change that and start from the beginning with like a new weapon. And yeah, about like responsive combat, I think so far from like all the games that have like, from the MMO games that have like the best responsive kind of combat, I think it's Elder Scrolls Online, and then followed like by World of Warcraft, because they're like, in World of Warcraft, skills come out very fast usually, and you can like also respond quite quickly. But like Elder Scrolls Online, holy shit, you can do like so many things in combat. You can like freaking bash someone and interrupt their attacks, certain attacks. You can like block during an attack, like you can literally like sort of like block cancel certain things. I mean, they patched some stuff, so now it's a bit slower, but you can still like after attack immediately block and stuff. I feel like, or like a dodge roll in the middle of combat. I think it's very responsive in Elder Scrolls Online. And I see why some people would not like this to be like stuck in an animation in an MMO, because it can make combat feel a bit clunky and more slow as well, right? Because if you like swing like, let's say a two-handed weapon that's a bit slow, and you like swing like, ugh, and you get like hit by someone and you see the person swinging after you, you can't even react to that or do anything, right? When Elder Scrolls Online, for example, you just freaking dodge immediately or do something while you are swinging. Yeah, here it's different.
Get better at whatever you use. I like this system. It rewards time and effort invested into your chosen style.
Yeah, exactly. More freedom also to change.
In-game actual start. And honestly, graphics are nice. Music is great. Atmosphere
graphics
is lovely.
are beautiful.
Combat is
yeah.
decent. UI is clean. It feels good, but it still doesn't feel like a $1 trillion company has made it good. But I am still holding out hope.
Really?
I mean, these guys made Airport Mania HD. I am sure they can deliver on the world's greatest MMO. So the game takes place on the Isle of Aeternum, and as we descend into this pit, we get to see the issue with Aeternum. The island is surrounded and sometimes covered in this stuff called corruption. And here's our old captain friend. He has been corrupted, and now we fight him. This is the first moment I start both having fun and feeling disappointed.
This is so Dark
This
Souls-ish.
fight isn't bad from a superficial standpoint. Animations are smooth, combat sounds are nice, atmosphere is great, but mechanically it's very bare bones. Light attack,
Combat is
block,
too simple,
sometimes
right?
roll. This is a set piece of your game's opening, and it feels somewhat lackluster. Halfway through the fight, the captain blasts us with a beam of light, and we are teleported inland. Now, depending on your server, or your real-life location, or just how Jeffrey is feeling on any given day, you can actually start in a few separate places. Now, each start is basically identical. You'll have the same quests given to you by differently named but identical
There are different
NPCs,
factions you
and
can
will
join
learn
too.
the same skills. Now, here's the biggest difference between this PvP and crafting-focused territory control MMO and all of the other PvP.
Yo, that's so funny. Like, one thing I find like interesting here is, like, you can like select like where you start, right? And this reminds me now a little bit about like Final Fantasy 14, right? Okay, but there's like different because you have to pick a certain starter job. But you also have like those starting areas when you make a character based on your class. For example, if you pick a Thaumaturge, you start in Ul'dah. If you pick a Lancer, you start in Gridania. If you pick a Warrior, you start in a Maraudor, sorry, you start in Limsa, Lominsa, and stuff like that. This gives me like some Final Fantasy memories now.
And crafting-focused territory control MMOs, New World actually has something resembling a plot, or a narrative and an adventure line that you can follow to learn the basics.
How is
when people
PvE
say
there,
this
actually?
game doesn't hold your hand, well, I've explained before, that's an awful way to introduce new players to your world. You need a small amount of hand-holding until the player is confident enough to go and play solo, and
especially if you're new to
does
MMOs.
seem to hit that balance quite nicely. There is no mini-map, but there's also no auto-pathing. There is a compass to the top and a green mainline quest symbol to guide you though. The early quests are all voice acted and the voice acting is fine. It's not fantastic, it's just fine. Maybe some of the voice acting
good enough,
budget went on
basically.
Jeff's soft little space booties, which I can only assume are lined with mink and probably light up as you run.
Holy shit.
And now a small movement issue. It seems the motion capture budget ran out mid-stride because running forward takes about 3 steps and then locks you into this position. And this
I think they
isn't just
fixed
me.
it.
Others
I didn't
are
see it
gliding
on
around like
other
this too.
streams.
Now, full disclosure, this didn't happen when I played a few days ago, but I'm recording now and it's happening now, so this
No,
is
I
how
think
the
they
world
fixed
gets
it.
to
I haven't
If you
seen
run
it in the
sideways, it's
latest
still
beta.
fine. This only happens when you run directly forward. As you explore, gather resources and fight, you'll level up, and you can spend your level up points on one of 5 skills. Strength,
Can you
dexterity,
reset that?
intelligence, focus, and constitution. Each stat actually shows you what weapon it affects. This is really nice design and makes choosing where to put your points.
Oh yeah, you
much
can
simpler.
respec. Okay, nice, here it
Movement
is.
with the weapon
My
drawn
question
is
has been
not only
answered.
still bugged, but actually much funnier. This NPC sends me on a cooking quest, and we get to open the journal. The quest journal is actually fine, cleanly laid out, easy to follow and read. For all the mechanical issues the game has, the UI design is not one of them. Same goes for the map. The landmass is actually pretty small compared to other self-described hardcore PvP MMOs, which is a welcome relief. Too many MMOs make the map massive but forget to put anything in it. A giant open space doesn't mean anything if there's nothing to happen in that.
Oh yeah, and another downside is if you have like a too big map and you don't have the biggest player base. Like I see this now a lot in WoW Classic, to be honest. Like I started a new character on a PvP server, Forsaken Rogue. And while leveling and walking around, and I'm on Firemore on Europe, and I see barely any players because there's like so much area in WoW Classic and the amount of players isn't that high as it used to be, because now like the hype is a bit dying, I would say. So fewer people are still playing WoW Classic. And I walk around, I don't even see anyone. And I'm on a freaking PvP server, so I'm wondering like how it's gonna be from like max level. Will I even get like a lot of open world PvP fights and stuff? But if you have like a bit of a smaller map, okay, it's like maybe a downside for like super hardcore players that want to like super explore everything. But this is more casual friendly because you have more encounters with other players, especially if it's PvP, right?
That space. But
That's cool.
Here's a nice feature. Resource spots, such as iron or flint or wood, aren't shown on the map, but they are shown in relation to a topographical key. You can see the resources you need and then locate the type of land you'll find it in. That would be a brilliant system if the majority of colours on the map weren't an almost identical shade of light brown. So
yeah, I hope they patched this.
You'll find skilling spots to interact with, shown by the little circle symbol. If you press E, you'll interact with them, pulling up a bush or cutting down a tree, and it does actually affect the in-game model, which is a really nice touch. As far as skilling is concerned, it's basically like giant 3D RuneScape, and that's not a bad thing. Pull up some plants, gather some sticks, and pick some flint up from
This reminds me of
floor.
Valheim. Like seriously, this reminds me now a bit of Valheim.
Missing having a mini-map. I don't think that would ruin what you're going for here, game. Mini-maps are normally quite well received. Back at the quest giver NPC, we
Yeah,
use the
it sucks to
campfire
have no
craft.
mini-map.
You can craft various things at major crafting stations in town. Everything from armor.
It's the first
to weapons
MMO
to
I would
ammunition
play
is
without
all
mini-map.
craftable. It is entirely possible and indeed encouraged to be self-sufficient in this game, and the crafting menu is again really nicely laid out. Recipes on the left, selected one shown in the middle with what you need, and crafting button on the right. Nice and simple. We've made a knife from the gathered materials, and now we need to hunt a boar for some food, so we silently skate up to this
Holy shit,
unsuspecting
I actually
boar like
love
the
that.
ninja we are, and it doesn't even fight back. Like the boar doesn't even care that it's being attacked. Press
Okay,
E
that's
to
weird.
gut the boar, gather some meat, and run back to the camp. At this point,
But I love this aspect of the game that you have to like fight materials to make yourselves weapons. Like I had this kind of experience while playing Valheim. And I thought it was like so rewarding and so cool to explore the world because you would find like materials and get some cool weapon. When I first in Valheim, for example, had like my bronze weapons, like my first bronze axe, I felt so proud and happy at this. Like in other MMOs, you just do a quest, you get like a cool weapon and stuff. But if you have to actually grind for like materials for your weapon, it just feels different than if it's being given to you in a quest. I mean, it's like maybe not too casual friendly, or those that don't invest a huge amount of time to like manually gather all that stuff, but probably it's like pretty cheap here anyway to make weapons, right? Like maybe you don't need so many mats, but it does feel more rewarding and your progress as a character feels more better, and you see it more in your actions when you actually gather individual like materials and then you have like a weapon. I think that crafting is a really cool aspect of the game, and I love that, like an MMO with crafting. It's nice.
I'm actually running sideways everywhere because it looks less stupid than just gliding around.
They fixed
Cook
it,
the
no
food
worries.
into better food, then get sent off to search a shipwreck. Environments are lovely. Music is understated and fitting. Light rays and reflections and textures on everything look nice. The actual level design is top-notch. It's just the moment-to-moment gameplay, the combat and the general server status that's really letting this game down right now. First impressions are good, apart from the mechanics. Around the land randomly, usually guarded by enemies, you'll find supply caches. Search them to
What are
get
they?
stuff, from ammo to weapons to armor. They're basically
Ooh,
little rewards
arrows.
for exploring and fighting. Talking
How's
of
Archer,
fighting,
actually?
it's
Maybe I should try.
average. There are moments it shines, like when you've memorized an enemy's attack patterns and you can block or roll at the right time, wasting no time in dispatching them, or when you can chain a heavy attack and an ability to kill them quickly. Like, it's not a bad system, it's just this game was made by $1 trillion company. I'd expect something better than I've ever seen before, and that's one of the issues we'll come back to.
But that's-
The game is good, but it's not better than anything currently already out there.
Yeah.
Here's a feature I quite like. Travelling to a new landmass shows you the suggested level of the area you've just arrived at in general, but there's nothing to stop you from travelling anywhere. See, this is the perfect amount of hand-holding. The game is saying, hey, I'm not going to stop you doing this, but just so you're aware, it's suggested for this level. It's giving the player all the information they need and then letting them make their own choice. It's
That's
the
good.
freedom to listen to advice or to ignore
It helps you
and
progress
this is
faster,
great.
yeah.
There is a more elite enemy on the ship deck. They've got a shield, so you need to use a heavy attack to break the shield block. Some actual tactics. I like this. Another treasure.
Oh wow, I didn't know that actually. So there are certain mobs where you need certain combat moves to break their defense, otherwise you can damage them. Yo, that's interesting. Like, even though like the combat animations, they don't look as flashy as like in other games. I mean, just look at like freaking BDO and like Final Fantasy 14, for example. Like even some skills in WoW, they look like all flashy, like big explosions, or like your sword suddenly freaking glows like with fire or some magic power, and you like swing it at your enemy. Like here, it's like more simple. But I think it's nice that there are like those mechanics like here. Like you have to break like the defense of a mob in order to damage them and stuff. Yeah, that's a nice combat challenge then.
Enemy on the ship deck. They've got a shield, so you need to use a heavy
So
attack
cool.
to break the shield block. Some actual
like that.
tactics. I like this. Another
Yeah.
treasure cache gets me a cool spear. And then I get chased by a load of zombies. Again, I like this. It means even
You
at
killed
low
our
level, it's a
captain.
very lethal MMO. You aren't unkillable. I actually wonder what PvP is like. I
Perhaps if
promise
you
I will
die,
do some
you get back
PvP
to a
before the
city,
video
or
ends. Oh, awesome.
there
The
a
first
graveyard
spear
like in
skill
WoW?
is a throw, like a javelin. And you have to parkour over the ship's broken
Holy
frame
shit!
to gather some quest
They
items.
stayed stuck in
And,
the
oh,
zombie.
damn, the
That's
spear
cool.
throw hitbox is actually really nice. Projectiles are traveling 3D models, and the enemy hitboxes are mapped really close to the enemy model. This level of accuracy is essential in an
Wow.
action game to make it feel fair.
That's
A
so
few more
modern
quests get
then.
me a bow, and then I'm sent to explore a local cave. The main problem here is wielding a bow makes the leg running glitch worse. It looks like
They
I'm
fixed it.
skiing along with one ski. In the cave, in quite an awesome touch, 3 of us seem to form this rather impromptu group. We don't talk to each other, we just communicate in the classic
Can you
MMO
actually
way
hit
of jumping around
friends
and
by
fighting the
accident
same
with it?
stuff. And then,
With
just
the
as this
bow?
unspoken bond of camaraderie grows almost as powerful
Wow,
as a
Archer looks
spaceship
fun.
engine, we reach the boss and the others run off and leave me alone.
What sort
like
of
a
boss is that?
forgotten
Freaking
Amazon parcel. The chaplain
demon.
boss is pretty cool actually. Some minions, some attacks to dodge. My spear throw has a stun effect, so that's nice. And killing him gets me some more loot. This is basically what the PvE aspect of this game seems to be. Find some corrupted,
okay.
powerful NPCs guarding treasure, kill them, get treasure. Back outside, I received some territory points. With most of the PvP gameplay being focused on area control, your faction can own land masses.
How many factions are there? Like 3, right?
And as you do stuff in each territory, you can earn territory points to unlock certain buffs while in that territory, like reduced trading tax on some market boards, increased experience, or more faction reputation gained when you do stuff. This is an interesting system that rewards map exploration, and we'll have to wait and see if it has engaging long-term benefits.
But one thing I really hate when I heard this, and I'm not sure if they are going to change that, but currently there's no way to like fast travel, right? Like you don't have, for example, in Final Fantasy 14 you have Aetherytes, right? Like you can just teleport there. In World of Warcraft you have like flight masters you can talk to, and yeah, you don't have that here. That's a sad part. And are there actually any mounts or not? I'm not sure. I haven't seen any mounts. I'm not sure if they will release mounts or there's like new stuff coming with like another expansion. Because I have heard rumors that there will be an expansion and maybe like multiple ones. I mean, it would make sense if you push out like a big game and it's supposed to be really hyped, then you should make like a few expansions. I mean, just look at like freaking Skyrim. Skyrim had this also with like the expansions like Dawn God and the others, right? So yeah, I hope in the future expansions they add some more comfort of life, like some like maybe fast travel or like some kind of NPC that puts you on like a carriage or something and brings you from A to B. Like that would be nice, because you have to like walk manually everywhere now in New World and it's a bit annoying.
Oh, you can also fast travel to places you've unlocked, but you need to spend a resource to do it, and I don't have any of that resource. But I really like
but
this system.
this runs out.
Early game travel is essential, but late game travel gives you the choice.
Now the thing is about this resource, like I have heard this, like people have been testing it. Even though there is fast travel, it's like there's no fast travel, because you fast travel a few times, this resource is gone, and then you have like no freaking options. And I've heard rumors that in the shop there will be the resource, but people should not fast travel so often like in other games, like WoW for example, in like Final Fantasy 14, because there you just use like freaking money you get anyway, right? But there's like a unique resource, and I actually think it's so annoying that you have to use like a freaking unique resource to fast travel, because you run out of it and then you have to go from A to B manually.
Of paying to get to places you've already been quicker. It's cost versus reward. Again, it's kind of similar to Dark Souls 1 with the Lord Vessel. The gameplay you've seen was recorded on a new account made to redo the starting zone, but I'm switching back to my main account because I've got a cool pirate costume and I want to do some PvP. The game has all the standard comforts of home. A personal bank account known as a storage shed, a market board auction house where players can buy and sell things, and honestly the town ambience is terrific.
Oh yeah, it looks nice. It's very realistic as well, right?
Just stylized enough to be interesting without being garish. The general graphical style of the Spanish conquistadors is held really well. The color palette of the bright green foliage contrasted with the darkened timber is visually gorgeous. There's a wealth of smaller touches like ferns and birds and tapestries hanging around. Visually, the towns are really fleshed out and they are a joy to walk around. The soundtrack is so well fit, you don't even notice how much it's enhancing the overall ambience. They have knocked environmental design out of the park. I mean, they've basically sent it into space, which is great because now Jeffrey can also enjoy it. And now comes the join a faction moment. It's a territory control PvP game, so of course there are 3 factions who all
I wonder which faction I will join.
And stand for different things, yet all somehow coexist in the
Maybe
same
I'll check
town.
out their cities and
the
see which one I
Marauders,
like the
big,
most.
Angry, shouty boys who want to smash you in the face with the hammer of freedom. The Covenant, who are all religious zealots and want to hand out free hugs and see the good in everyone, despite the fact there are literal zombies eating people's faces. And the clearly superior Syndicate, who are a bunch of super smart boys who think magic is cool and maybe we should try using that.
Syndicate sounds interesting, but I'm not sure if I will play a mage.
Doesn't actually cause you to descend them properly.
Maybe I'll go
by
for
keeping them on the
Marauders.
floor. You just shoot off the end and then crumple into a pile on the floor. This is dumb. Fix this.
Yeah,
So I
maybe
join
go
the Syndicate
Marauders.
boys, flag myself for PvP and head out into the wild. The global chat is saying something about a fort to the east being attacked, so I get jogging. I may only be one man with a musket, but I can hang back and snipe like the best of them. On my way there, I run into someone from the opposite faction, flagged for PvP. He is a higher level than me, with more money, more weapons, and more armor. He seems superior to me, but I think I can win. He's Bezos, I'm Branson. Let's do this.
Ah, they took almost half your health bar. Holy shit. No, you can't take him. Or maybe he can. Oh, he's low health already. Ah, you missed. Oh, he won. Okay.
God damn,
What
I
you actually
won.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real with you, I did not expect to win that fight. I guess that just goes to show, while warhammers may be intimidating, spears are the best medieval weapon. Thanks, The fort is far too
that's
east
funny.
still, so I get running through higher level
I like
areas,
that.
avoiding roaming enemies, sometimes fighting them, and then we face the biggest hurdle so far, the most difficult enemy in the entire
Which one?
beta. The lag. Seriously, are the servers you are
yeah,
using
that's the
made
biggest
of the
enemy.
finest potato? Because
Lag can
it's
get you
been
killed
dire.
even.
Every world is lagging. Everyone is crashing. If this is a stress test, how many people were you actually expecting to play? You are $1 trillion company.
Yeah, $1 trillion company. But I feel like too many people put too high expectations on New World and as well as Ashes of Creation. Like, people right now, they seek something new that's like the new big MMO that's bigger than everything we know. But I don't think it's possible to make something that's that much better. You might get sometimes like MMOs that are like a little bit better than certain games that are out there, but I don't think it's possible to do like a jump from here and now, like, let's say 2 MMOs are somewhere in here in like the middle range, right? To like here or something. Like maybe like some patches or expansions can lift up a game by a bit, but like an early release game, like an early MMO to like top every single MMO by far that is out right now, that has like if you look at like World of Warcraft, for example, like how many expansions there have been, how many features have been added, and Final Fantasy 14 even like refined the way like freaking jobs classes work there and added like so many cool new elements and very cool dungeons and raids throughout expansions. I feel like with MMOs it also comes to age, because if you release a game and it's like in the early phase of the release, like the first patch basically, it's like almost impossible to beat an already existing game that had like tons of feedbacks over the years from players and so many expansions and patches released. So I would never ever set my hopes and hype too high for the first patch of a new MMO. Just let the game age for like a year, maybe 2 or 3. Sometimes it takes even 4 years, and then you will see how the game will be.
Company. You've been advertising this game for 5 years. How were you surprised when people wanted to play the beta? Every MMO
But it was
launch ever
very
has been
buggy,
met
I
with
have
day
to
one
say.
lag.
That was
You
too
should have
early
been prepared
release.
for this. Eventually, the lag subsides and I build a camp. These are your mobile respawn points. You just need a few sticks and some flint and you can build them anywhere as long as you're not too close to...
It's like a Minecraft bed.
Just as I'm about to heal up and go and join the Fort Assault team, the server completely crashes.
No.
Only the finest potato, eh, Jeff? The finest potato.
Oh shit.
Right, so, New World. While I was streaming this a few days ago, I had a really good time. The
Yeah, it's
environmental
fun.
design is quality. The ambience is really immersive.
I watched
and the UI
Fangrush's
design, both
stream
overlay
and the
key
PvP
menus
looked
is
amazing.
fantastic. It's got enough guidance and early game quests to teach players all the basics. Then it's got a fair amount of PvE content like map completion and achievement hunting that you've always got a goal to aim for. You've even got the daily resource quests you can collect from any of the main towns. The crafting is simple to understand but covers a wide variety of weapons.
I think it's actually interesting how instead of like class skills, you get like weapon skills that you have to unlock. It's basically like your weapon becomes your class, and they don't even have like names. You're not called, I don't know, Paladin or something, or Gladiator or whatever. You're called here Sword and Shield, you're called Spear. That's interesting. And the leveling progressing is just like in Valheim almost, right? Like you hit stuff and then you like level.
Armor and food, that setting up your own build and kitting out your own inventory is going to take you a while. It's a solid adventure game.
Yeah.
The PvP element right now seems fine. It's just being held
It's
back
fun.
by the lag. The fact that I could defeat a higher level using movement and tactics shows it's not just number versus number.
But it's skill.
Does actually seem to matter, or it did when I was
like
fighting.
that.
My main concern is Amazon is a $1 trillion company.
Especially if it's such a
is a month away from
not your
full
main
release,
game,
and
and
it's
you don't
just
need to
not
grind so
on
much.
the same level of quality as the current big MMOs. It's not got the storytelling and plot focus of Final Fantasy XIV. It's not got the depth of builds and deep lore of the Elder Scrolls Online. It's not got the platforming of Guild Wars 2. I can't comment on the end game because I don't think anyone's got there yet.
No.
It's not a fully hardcore PvP focused game like Mortal Online 2 or a fully PvE focused game like Neverwinter. It's a decent adventure game with decent enough graphics.
The world looks cool. It gives me a bit of vibes like Skyrim, just more warm, right?
Any single thing better than anyone else. Imagine if this game didn't have the Amazon name behind it and it launched from some no-name studio. Would it still be making the waves it is?
I don't think
Probably
so.
not. I think Amazon are
I think
using
brand
their name
matters
recognition to
psychologically to
and
people.
they have the foundation for a really, really good MMO here, but it needs a bit more polish, some animation bugs fixing, tightening up the combat and speeding up some of the animations and sorting out the terrible lag. If Amazon
fix
are
fast
willing to
traveling.
invest time and effort into this game, it could be something fantastic. I can see the potential, but as it stands, I don't know what type of MMO player you want to appeal to. I don't see it dragging players away from any established game because it doesn't do any one thing better than anything else. It's not PvE or PvP focused enough to really hyper-focus and capture that demographic. It seems to be trying to be quite good at everything.
It's like your art game, basically. A game you can play besides another one. But that's also cool.
I'll review it again, and I'll give it a score out of 10. But until then, I will be grinding away, enjoying my time, because it's not a terrible game.
It is not,
just
no.
not there yet. I also need to think of a
I
way
totally
to repay
agree
the
here
Smith
on
Brit
this.
for getting me the beta key. Hopefully he'll be happy with a box of tea bags and doesn't have to do something stupid for a video idea. But until we know, cheers for watching. A massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel going. You can support from just £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, and our Discord. And
Wow. Thank you so much, Josh Dreyfus, for making this video and giving us a feedback on New World. And yeah, like, New World feels very incomplete to me as well. Like, I watched a few streams of people, like Fankrush, for example. I was also on Asmongold streams for New World, and I feel like PvP looks really, really cool. I think the world design is really nice. I like love the whole area and this sort of like Spanish medieval vibes you get, and even like the way those buildings look. I think they are very realistic, the structures there, and I think they are historically also quite correct from the architecture, from the armor look and everything. Like, the whole world feeling is great. I like that the combat is like in Dark Souls. It's pretty interesting, and I always loved like the combat in Dark Souls. It feels like quite challenging as well. But like the fast traveling right now, let me quickly look that actually up, because there's like this one resource you need to use to like fast travel, and from what I've heard is like you constantly run out of this. So it's like, even though you do have fast travel, it's almost like it's non-existent or something. Okay, here, like, I found it here. How to fast travel New World. You can fast travel New World, but it isn't free. Here's what you need in order to fast travel. You need to be standing in a settlement area in order to fast travel elsewhere. You need to have visited the desk, okay. You need enough Azov. And here, Azov, yeah, that's the currency. And I thought it's like very, very, very difficult to get, right? You have like inns, what is cool, that's like in World of Warcraft, but it is this thing, it is as of, and I've heard that like they want to put this on the shop so people can like buy that, but let's be honest here, okay? If a company puts something on the microtransaction shop that they have for a game, they're not gonna make it easy for players to get, right? So there will be like a super grindy resource to encourage players to actually buy it from the shop. And here's like my fear that like at some point they like make fast travel so horrible and people have to go from A to B so slow that some people get upset and maybe like quit or something. Like they need to maybe they need to like redesign fast traveling. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm still hyped for New World. I really want to play that. I will make a Let's Play series to that, so be prepared for some episodes on that. And yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. I would also really appreciate if you like this video. And stay all safe and healthy. And I will see you guys next time.